Hello, guys. Welcome to my new type of stream. Let me just hide this thing for a while so I explain what I'll be doing here. So first, hello everybody. So this is kind of a new format I decided to do, and the main reason is because I'm not gaming these days because I have like some kind of a hand injury and I wanted to heal as soon as possible. So that's why I decided to keep up streaming and doing something a little different. So I'll be going through my last tournament match against Loopy and explain what I did there and why I decided to do it. So yeah, because also like I'm not the usual Lego Harry Potter 1 through 4 player. I would say I'm doing stuff a little differently. I have like a little different approach that everybody else have. So first, before I started the match, like a couple of hours before the match, I decided to do a couple of things, and the first thing was like set up a positive mindset because I have a trouble with stress before matches like that. Even though it's not very important match, in my life it's not important, but still, even if it's something unimportant, I struggle with nerves from it. So I decided to have my like good mindset, good mood. So I went for a run for like 20 minutes, think about the run, think about what I'm gonna do. Then I listened to some music I like, and like I got ready, but not in a stressed way. Uh, second thing was to I decided to not compare against my PB because like if you mess up at start, thank you for a follow. I'm Hawk. If you mess up at start and you fall behind, that's not very good for your nerves. And so I decided to not compare against any time. I compared to none. I was also considering compare to like worst segments, but I decided to compare to none. So I did not know if I'm ahead or behind PB. The third thing I learned from my last match when I was listening to the commentary and kind of watching the stream almost all the time, and like I was not paying enough attention to what I'm doing in my game, and I was also listening to the commentary what Harasmi was saying about my gameplay and about Origins. And I think it took me a lot of time, like in the match. I ended up having like 153, and this match was 143. So that match was like 10 minutes slower, which is like a very big deal. Like 10 minutes is a lot of time. And I think most of it was because I was stressed because of the commentary, so I decided to ignore it completely. The next thing was like only to do skips that I feel very comfortable with, and if there is a skip I practice only a couple of times, I'll not go for it if I really don't feel like I can do it first try. So there are a couple of skips like that, and we'll see like the trophy jumps to the bathroom corridor and other skips like that that I will not be doing just because I feel like doing the normal, the casual way or like my way would be losing less time than trying to do this and failing. So that was the fourth. And the fifth is don't do high risk, low reward skips. This is like kind of similar to 4, but I think the difference here is even though I know the skip a lot, if it only saves like 5 seconds and failing it would lose like 20 seconds, I will still not go for it. Because I knew that Loopy is a better player at this time, and the only way I could have beaten him is to not do mistakes, to not lose time, and let him lose time by failing some of the skips. So this was the 5 things I like fought off, and this is how I got ready for the match. So yeah, forest through. Hard skips are really bad for tournament races. Yeah, like if it was no reset run, then yeah, of course I will go for stupid skips and something like that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Filch the aggro saves so much that even if you are not very comfortable with, you need to do it, because like if you got it like on third try, you still save time. Unlike to the plunger strat. Hi, JB. Unlike to the plunger strat, where you like if you don't skip the animation perfectly, you are immediately losing time. So I think we can go to the match, and I have to apologize that the match will be without sound, because apparently my VOD didn't save on Twitch, so I'm using the LEGO speedruns highlight from it, and it has the commentary of VSuper and Origin, so I decided to put some music instead. I hope you don't mind. And for the next time I do this, if I do this, probably yes, I'll have the sound, because I started to saving my VODs on Twitch. So I think we can just start and see what's gonna happen. So at first, a lot of you guys already know that I play with VSync off, and I also played with VSync off in this match. And the biggest reason for it, like I think there are 3 reasons why I do that. One is to not need to be going for 0 stats, and 0 stats is also one of the strats I mentioned. Okay, you can at start you can see that I was still nervous. I messed up my 1P2C. I thought that P1 is P2, and I don't know why that happened. That never happened to me before. So you can see I'm not picking up the stats in front of Ollivanders because I don't need to, because I'm not going for 0 stats. And my feeling is that 0 stats is a strat that is kind of RNG, and you need to have the blue stat not hitting you, like in the next part, in the vault part. It's easy to mess up, and if you mess up, you are losing time. So I decided to not go for 0 stats, that's the reason, and therefore I went for VSync off. The next reason for VSync off is to have slightly easier the balcony jumps to the ADA. And the last reason would be the basilisk jump through the floor. So I don't need to switch VSync for that jump. So here you can see I'm not dying here on purpose. Even though I had pretty good stat count, would have taken 3 deaths each, which I think is fine, even though 2 deaths on P1 is better. So I ended up being a little ahead after the last part of this level, but still I was like losing around 10 seconds to loopy on that. And also VSync off makes you have this stat counted up much quicker. So yeah, that was the first level. Now we go to the castle to do a Wingardium, which I think went very badly for me. It could have been worse, but yeah, we'll get to it. So as I mentioned, I was very nervous in the match, and it slightly got better. Like after a couple of levels, I got like less nervous, but still I was pretty nervous. But the earlier in the run, the more nervous I was, and the more like mistakes I was doing. So the first level was like there were a couple of mistakes, but only small ones. I think that was when I entered the Diagon Alley. Like I messed up my P1, P2 controls, and then when I was supposed to use the key with Curry Poke for the first time, I think he put the key into his pocket instead of like opening the lock. But the rest was kind of fine. So yeah, this is pretty standard movement. Nothing really interesting here. And we'll be going to Wingardium Leviosa, which I have a setup to do, and I do it the same every time, which is really good because I end up with the same characters every time after Wingardium, so I'm used to it how I'm doing it, so that's probably the best for me. So I go right with P1, left with P2, activate the first, like save the first student on the right, and then I go to the left with P2 and start using the stairs. Meanwhile, I switch P1 to Ron, so I'm closer. You can see that I messed up a little, but didn't cost me any time. And here I just switched P2 to Harry, and I focus on Ron and just hold the build button with Harry. And then move, so I can use magic on both, but no, I was using it to the candles. And this was like stressing me so much then that like after I figured out, I stopped using the magic and I went back and used the magic on both the weights at the same time. But I usually use P1 first and then P2, and in this particular occasion I probably because of the stress, I pressed P2 first and then P1, so I ended up not having both students rescued at once. So that was pretty big loss. So that was a 15 seconds time loss. So let's put it here so we can keep track of the time losses I had. Wingardium Leviosa. Yeah, this was pretty okay. So I enter the level and I swipe the portrait once. And I drop out P2, switch to Ron, drop in P2, so I can do the pet jump and the wrong warp with P1. I got it first try, so that was really good. I got the jump here. I almost fell down there. Wow, that was pretty close. I like forgot to jump or whatever. So yeah, that's this part. That actually went very well, I think. And this is another part where I'll lose a little bit of time, the same in like the 1-1, because I didn't go for 0 stats. Here, because I'm on VSync off, I'll not be getting the girl costume, the girl disguise first time. So I'll need to hit the portrait one more time. And this is losing like, I think like 4 seconds maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, something like that. And one thing to note here, I'll be saving like 2 frames by using Scabbers instead of Ron to enter the door, and immediately I'll lose a couple of seconds because I did not get the troll diaggro. So yeah, well, it's actually 4, I think. It's like if you get the hair first try, you are still standing on the place in front of the portrait. However, if you get it on the second try, you can move all the way to the right. So you are losing like 6 seconds and saving 2 on the movement, I think. Here I'm using the magic with both characters at once, which I think doesn't matter for the first item, but it matters for the second one. For this one, the troll is like throwing at me. It goes way faster at the troll. But still, like it's only saving a couple of frames maybe. So yeah, at this point I'm already like 20 seconds behind loopy, even though I'm not knowing that. Here I'll do another swipe on the trophies. You can see I'm having very big troubles getting down. So the trophies are ready to, like the portrait is ready to be waved at. So Lumos is another lesson I really fucked up. I started with my traditional. I picked this up and I switched to Hermione accidentally, and then I cast Scabbers accidentally. So that was a big disaster. I'm not able to click the item. Okay, finally, then I switched to Hermione, pick up the thing. Finally got up with Harry, and now I'm used to like rescue all the pieces, pick the left piece with Ron and jump down, and pick the right piece with Harry. So I jumped down with Ron, and now I should switch with Ron, and instead I switched with Harry, and I didn't click the bottom one there. Yeah, this was terrible. I think this also lost 15, maybe then. This was like 20 seconds. 20 seconds of a time loss on Lumos. This was so bad. This was probably my worst Lumos, like in my like since I got sub 3 hours any percent. So here I'm P1 Hermione because of that, which doesn't matter for this lesson, but it will matter for the next lesson, not for Lumos Solemn, but for Broomstick Flying. So I'll need to switch my P1. This was pretty fine 1P2C, I think. Not a big issue here. A little movement problem with Hermione. Yeah, I got this very well. This was good. Strength potion lesson. And now notice that I will not be going for Transfiguration. That's another thing. Basically all the players in the tournament, I think besides Chloe, go for Transfiguration. But I decided to not go for Transfiguration. I did not have enough time to practice it in a way that I am certain that I will not lose time to it. But I know it, like if I want to get better times, I should go for Transfiguration. Here another thing, I'm not doing the plunger strat as I explained at the start. The plunger strat saves 8 seconds, and if you fail the cutscene skip and then get the wrong warp in year 2 on first try, you're probably breaking even. But if you don't get the wrong warp first try, you're losing time. So I decided to not go for the 8 seconds time save, and so in that case I'm pretty certain that I will only lose 8 seconds. But if I went for it, I could have lost like 20 seconds or 30 seconds. I'm having a big trouble with the wrong warp, so I usually don't save time with this strat anyway. So it's too risky for me. So this was pretty usual 1P2C for me. I do this lesson the same time, like in the same way every time. So nothing really special. Note that I'm already P2 Ron and set on Scabbers. So in the next section, after Broomstick Flying, I can do the pet warp straight away. That's what I like to do. I'll be probably moving Ron a little bit to the left and a little bit forwards. Not sure if I... Yeah, I'm having some troubles here. Hit the last time. Okay, now I'm moving around. Oh my god, this was very bad flying lesson. Yeah. So I moved Ron closer to this purple plant, so he can jump from the broom and shoot and yeah, and hit it like that. So I'm saving a little bit of time, but I lost a lot of time in the previous section. I think that was like 10 seconds. in flying lesson. Doing the pet warp because I had ready Scabbers. Here I like to switch to Hermione so I don't accidentally use Scabbers. I use Lumos very early here because you can do it. And this 1P2C usually goes pretty well for me. Let me see how it went this time. Yeah, I think this was very good. 1P2C, as good as you can have it. But yeah, and then this happens. You just can't, like, I could not have used the magic on it, so, and then I can't click it in. So even though I executed the 1P2C part very well, I got trolled by the gyro ball. And I know Justin was saying it was because of VSync off, but I'm playing on VSync off for a year and a half, and this never happened to me. So I don't think it was because of VSync off. So now I'll be going P2 to the right to destroy the pumpkins here, because that's what you need to do before you enter Bugbeak in Ether 3, and going to Jinx Broom or Dobby's plan is the perfect timing for it. Okay, here I decided to go for the most safe strat because I usually in my runs I lose a time to the flag Lumos jump. So instead of getting the flag jump, I decided to go for the broom clip. So here I will jump on the broom with Ron and get the swag crest and fly all the way to the right. And then I should have just dropped out Ron straight away, but instead I flew into this wooden thing, which lost me a little bit of time. But not too bad in the end. Yeah, and here yeah, this is another Lumos jump I have problems with. I'm not sure why. Here I just dropped in P2, and I'll drop out P2 straight away. I should probably learn to do this strat P1 only. Yeah, and this jump also gives me some troubles sometimes. Not really sure why, but oh, and I didn't hit the guy. Okay, this is just a safe strat I go for. So overall, not too bad Jinx Broom, but this last turn was not very good. So I decided to drop in P2 again, and that's because the next level is the restricted section, and I'll be not doing the transfiguration strat, of course, because I don't have transfiguration. Instead, I'll be doing the classic 1P2C strat. So now a lot of players are not fixing the bridge so they can do a wrong warp. You can see that I'm not doing it, I'm just fixing the bridge because I'm doing a different setup for the wrong warp than everybody else is doing. And I'm doing a setup that works for me pretty well, you will see later. So I don't have the broomstick there for future attempts. But I think it's actually better to learn to do the wrong warp with the bridge built, because if you mess up the not building the bridge and then you get it in the run, you don't do the wrong warp you just can't do the wrong warp because you don't know how to do it. Okay, here I switched with Harry to a wrong side. I don't even know how that happened. So instead of using the cloak, I used Lumos and the book killed me. This was very unfortunate, but didn't lose that much time. However, Ron was already ready here, so I think this was like 5 seconds time loss. Ron goes up. Should hit the bookcase, didn't work out. Now it hit. And now he throws the flower on the wrong direction. Now Harry gets stuck. Perfect. So this 1P2C I usually get right, but this time I did not. I failed killing the book because I was on the wrong spell for some reason. And I failed tossing the spider down. Also, not sure why. I just did not have the right angle. So I think this next room went pretty standard. Yeah, not too bad. So overall, I think I'm losing another 10 seconds in restricted. But this was not too bad. But I could have done better. Yeah, because I think this room is pretty easy to get right. Hard to lose time here. Yeah. So yeah, that was about 10 seconds of a time loss in restricted. The next level is the Forbidden Forest. And we'll see the first wrong warp on the bridge. You can see I have run on Scabbers already ready. I think you start with P2 run on Scabbers, so it's nothing too scary. Here I like place my controller on a desk and set up, and I use my keyboard to move to the right. So you will always see me moving with P2 in that room. And I got a pet warp instead, didn't work out. This was too much forward, so I also get a pet warp, but this time I used the pet warp to get there. So the wrong warp is pretty easy. You just hold down and jump and spam jump and it works. But with the pet warp you need to hold down, spam jump, and at a certain point you need to stop holding down but keep spamming jump. So it's not that easy because you don't have any visual cue and you also don't have any audio cue. So you just need to stop at the right time. So what I do there is I mesh jump 5 times and then I let go of down direction. It doesn't work all the times, but like it usually works. Here I'm having some troubles with this jump. Like I can hardly expect get every jump in Forbidden Forest first try. So this was not too bad. Let me see how this jump went. Oh. Okay. I think I lost like 20 seconds, but I'm supposed to lose some time here, I think. So I'll just put it 10 seconds. Oh my god. So this level is very simple, nothing special happening here. But the thing to know, there is kind of a way of skipping some part of chess, and doing that skip causes crashing, at least for me. And this one actually might be because of the VSync off. I'm not sure, but I'm like I know that the crash also happened for someone using VSync off, VSync on. So it's not like completely VSync off problem. But I crashed in this room, in the chess room, many times after doing the skip. So just for the sake of the tournament, of the no reset run, I decided to not do the skip, because that will probably lose around 2 minutes to me, and not doing the chess skip will only lose like 8 seconds, and I think like 20% to crash, something like that, maybe even more. So I knew that if I crash there, I have zero chance of winning the match. So instead of risking the crash, I just went for not doing the strat at all. So that's another time loss that I was like willing to take to prevent even more time loss, which I think was a great decision. So here normally I would hit the queen now, yeah, and then hit the black queen again. So no, that's not a queen, it's a bishop. So I can build the new black queen straight away, but I didn't do it this time. And here we can hit the queen again, but I think that this one actually does not save any time. There are some that saves time and some that don't. Okay, this boss fight you can see I dropped in P2. And the reason for that is that I'll be attempting to use magic with both like P1 and P2 at the same time on the skull. And that makes the skull go like faster towards Quirrell. So that's what happened now. So this is where I saved a little bit of time. I need to get Hermione to the position, yeah. This time I don't think I saved any in the second phase. And at this point Loopy finished year 1 and I'm still like one cycle into the last boss fight. But I don't know. I didn't know at the point I was playing because I was not watching, as I already said at the start. Here you can see I'm lifting the other player to get invincibility, which is like completely a random thing, and it's just so I don't bore myself. Hello, Ivane. I think there are a lot of big guys who keep playing Lego Harry Potter. So yeah, this was the end of year 1, and so we go straight into year 2. Nothing special happening here. This part I learn to play with only one player, but here because I end 1P2C in the last level, I do also 1P2C here. So I learned a way. I just turn with Ron and shoot, and Harry just fixes the water thing instead of doing everything with Harry. Here I position Ron so he looks to the left and he can use the flu powder thing instead of turning Harry again a little faster. Yeah, like I'm saving a couple of frames each time, but then I'll lose like 10 seconds somewhere. Okay. Here you can buffer the build with Harry. I did not do it for some reason. Here I try to use magic with Harry and Hagrid on the sword. I'm not really sure if it's faster or not, but I ended up targeting the thing in the aquarium. If you keep the Wingardium Leviosa on it, it loses a lot of time. It's like 10 seconds long cutscene. So I had to stop because I was not sure which character was casting the magic on it. So I just stopped for safety reasons. So here, this is some like standard 1P2C. I'll be jumping against the barrier here to get the push up, and I got very big push. And the strength pull, and go into the gate with Harry. So that was 2-1, I think pretty solid. Didn't lose any time there. the next part is the pet warp when you get to Hogwarts. So I'll be doing pet warp right now. Pretty simple stuff. But in my last match, it took me like 5 attempts, which is crazy. So yeah, here the next is Mandrake. So I set Ron's spell to Wingardium Leviosa, so I accidentally don't cast Scabbers there. Here I messed up my 1P2C. I should have picked the middle Mandrake. And hello Moon, I thank you for the raid. I hope you enjoyed and finished the year 1 without any problems. So here I end up using the other Mandrake with P1. I should have picked the middle one, but instead I picked the first one. I'm not sure. I was used to do it like that, and then I switched to pick up the middle one, which is a little bit faster, but I forgot to do it this time. So yeah, so you can see I'm not doing the wrong warp here because I don't have the plunger, as I explained earlier. I'm just going with the standard Mandrake, like getting the earmuffs and getting rid of the Mandrake here. So this ended up losing around 8 seconds, as I said, but I think there was a high chance of losing more than 8 seconds if I went for the strat. So this will be the first the ADA jump. I switched to Hermione. I feel better with Hermione on the Immobiles lesson, but that's probably just placebo. Got the jump fairly quickly. And here I get the celebrating animation, of course. Having some trouble jumping up with Hermione. I need to. Okay, this is fine. Not too bad. Oh yeah, this was pretty good, Immobiles. Didn't lose any time here. So on to Dobby's plan. This will be one part where I'm losing a little bit of time for fixing the bridge because I don't have the broom here. The other players would just use the broom to get over to the right side, which I can't do. So this is your second or third option to destroy the pumpkins in front of Hagrid's garden. But of course, I've already done that in the first Quidditch level in Jinx Broom. Yeah, here I dropped out P2 because for this level I only need P1, at least for the starting part. Switch to Lumos, and I had a lot of trouble with this jump. Actually, don't know why. This jump usually goes pretty fine with me within like 2 or 3 tries. And here I was, like, you can see I was panicking a little. I was not doing a proper Lumos jump. It's probably better to go like out and in. Okay, and instead this jump, which is the harder one I think, I got first try. So that I think was like 15 seconds on the first jump that took me. Yeah. Here you normally just turn and shoot Dobby, but I missed. I shot the Racket instead. I should have dropped in P2 earlier to have Ron kill the Dobby, like the fourth heart of Dobby. Now I'm doing it with Hagrid, and it's a little harder to target with Hagrid, so it took some time. Welcome back, JB. So here I switch to Ron, and I'll be switching to Hagrid and switching to Hermione, so I have the setup I'm used to having. at the end of this section. Because I'm used to having P2 Hermione, P1 Ron, switch to, what's this, Pomfrey. So I build the statue with Hermione while I bring the Mandrake here, and I do my setup for the skeleton skip. As soon as the head starts to touching the neck, I let go and go into the door, so I skip the skeleton thing. Yeah, this was pretty fine. Take the thing, switch to Ron, pick up the last ingredient, and place it into the cauldron. I think I lost like 15 seconds here. Just to the first jump. So I'm doing a pet warp here, like really small one, saving only a couple of seconds, but it's faster, and it's only possible if you don't do this what's that, plunger strat. Yeah, skipping the skeleton is pretty cool, and you can also do it with like one controller. You don't need to have two controllers. Here I go to the left and build like one arm of the statue, so I don't lose any time. Well, I lost like a second because Ron stopped there. But I'm trying to, like, I was swiping the portrait in year 1, and I do one hand before Expelliarmus, and I can still do like the other hand before, no, after Expelliarmus, but I end up with one player only, and it takes time before P2 drops in. So I just don't do it. I do the rest before entering the next level. Crap and Goyle. And here I attempt of doing like my type of Malfoy fight, where you just hit him first, and before he pulls out the wand, you can hit it again. But the problem was that he hit me first, and I lost the setup. And then I had to use Expelliarmus instead of the generic spell. But ended up pretty well, I think. I think I did not lose much time here. Yeah, it was pretty good fight. Yeah, you can skip it with one control only. You just need to go through the door at the time when the cutscene is about to start. So the cutscene like is happening in the transition. You have like half a second or maybe a second when you need to be in the transition. Like when you are in the transition when the cutscene needs to be starting. So I do it in a way that I stand in front of the bed there and use magic on the head, and as soon as the head is like starting to touch the neck, I let go and go into the door. Okay, here I do some easy 1p2c building the snake. Oh, I was lifting a student there. Okay. Okay. And this part you do the cutscene skip. Even though I can skip cutscenes on my own, it's still faster to do it like that. Because if I like started the cutscene and then skipped, I would be placed down in that room. So this is way faster. Saves I think like 5 seconds. Now I'm going to Polyjuice. Yeah, I did a pet warp and my Scabbers got locked into the stools there. It's pretty unfortunate. Usually works, so I didn't save any time. I think my Polyjuice was a little messy. Yeah, I definitely pressed B, but the magic didn't work for some reason. Then I got stuck with Ron a little. Huh. But the rest seems pretty fine. I'll be drinking the potion with Harry because I need Ron for future. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I need to build the statue that goes to like opens the way to Hogsmeade. The secret passageway to Hogsmeade probably, is it? Yeah. So I need Ron now. because at the point where I'm going to Hogsmeade, I don't have any character with pet. I have Harry, Fred, and George. So I need to do it now because this is the last time you can do it. So you'll be seeing me going left with Ron, casting Scabbers, and hitting the head out of the tube while Justin waves at the portrait. And by doing it this way, the head falls down when this little animation shows up, which is like the only thing that players are skipping with the trophies Lumos jumps. So I don't think it's actually worth. And here I build a statue and enter the door to kind of overlap and like don't see the animation. Here I go left with P2 and start using magic on the pipes as P1 goes forwards and goes through, so that's saving a little bit. Oh, here I switched to wrong spell with Hermione and with Harry, but I managed to fix that pretty soon, so I didn't lose time. I pick up the hair with Hermione, and I will be placing it in the cauldron and using the magic with Harry on the left side. So yeah, maybe back to the trophies jump. I don't do them because I don't think they save that much time. It's like 5 seconds and you need to perform the skip twice. I'm not very consistent with the second jump from the trophy, from like the highest trophy. So I think that having to do the skip twice, first try, like first, oh, what was that? Having to do the skip twice in a run, and both times it need to be first try to save time, I think it's not worth. So that's why I don't go for it. So I think I'm losing about 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds to the guys who are doing this. Maybe not even. Not even 10 seconds, yeah. So this level went pretty well, I think. Nothing problematic. But what will be bad is the next fight, because the Myrtle fight I got very bad. I got very bad RNG. I think I started with missing one piece. I got this one. And for this one I pressed B with Ron and he decided to put his wand into the pocket. So I missed that one, that hardly lost any time. But then I got a lot of silvers, so we can count them up. So that's the first one. Yeah, they do it. They don't do it actually randomly, they do it after a certain amount of time without using a spell or being able to having like a purple thing highlighted. You can dodge it by switching spell or shooting, I think. So I think that was 5 silver, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, wow, so 11 silvers. Extremely bad, Myrtle. I think this lost me around 40 seconds. I'm not too sure I made the jump. Okay, I did. But I didn't make it to the door. Alright. So here I'll be doing the wrong warp again. So you can see I'm moving with P1 right now, but in the next room I'll be moving only with P2. That is to position my gamepad, my controller, on a table in a way that feels comfortable to me. And then I move to the right with both players. Move in the position with P2 and get the wrong word first try. So that was pretty nice. Here I got the climb with Fang pretty fast and the Lumos jump as well. So this was very clean so far. I positioned myself into the tree, so I am the closest to the bridge I can be. And you can just have P2 dropped in for the entire of this room, but I like to not need to like care about Fang. So I flew over, and I expect Fang to be coming here to this part. So then I go here and do the Lumos jump on the second try, and okay, some problems casting Lumos. Another Lumos jump. Here I call in Fang. So the Fang is on this side, but I need him. No, I first activate his cutscene, and now I'll be calling Fang in. Yeah. Now I need to position him at the right spot, but I left him on the left too long, so the bee started attacking. So I need to kill the bee first, drop out Fang. Now I drop in Fang, and he'll come up. Yeah, so without needing to build the ladder. And just in time, I'll be here. Yeah, you can do the wrong work with the bridge build. I found a setup for it that kind of works for me, and I have a reason to do it like that, because if you know how to do the wrong work with the bridge build, then you don't need to care about not fixing the bridge. But if you only do the method without the bridge build, that is with the bridge not built, and you accidentally build the bridge, then you are immediately losing a minute of a time save because you don't have any backup for it. That means you need to reset for it. So I think this is safer way, and it also works better for me. Here we can see that I'm not throwing the spiders at Aragog, but rather pushing it under his belly and then lifting up with Wingardium Leviosa. So overall, I think this was very good Forest. I remember that I had a couple of issues with this auto-scroller. I think I switched to the motorcycle at one point. Not sure. Yeah, here I'll switch to the motorcycle, which is not advisable. I think the car is faster and it's like better to handle. But this section is pretty RNG. Oh, this is bad. Now I switch to the car again. Yeah. So yeah, here I probably lost a couple of seconds, but given how good the previous part was, I don't think I'm losing to my like average time. Okay, so on to the last level in year 2. This balcony jump again. This time it gave me like a couple of tries to get up. Here I'll be doing the cubicle climb with Ron, so I switch to Ron immediately. Set to Scabbers, do this cubicle climb. I think I got it pretty fast. Jump to the left, cast Scabbers into the pipe. The AI will activate a toilet. And then I switch to Harry, set to Lumos, and instead of casting Lumos, I switch to Lockhart, just because my buttons for that are too close to one on each other that I just messed up. So I need to switch to Harry again, cast Lumos, switch to Wingardium, and lift this tube. And again, I switched to Lockhart by accident. Pretty lame. This should not have happened to me. So after fixing the tube, I immediately go to the left so I can cast magic with Harry onto the cupboard as soon as it's possible, as this small camera pan goes away. And I'll be building this plunger thing. Yeah, I'll be using it with Ron, and I already set Scabbers on Ron. So as soon as Ron gets away from it, like off, I can do the pet warp now. So I set up the pet warp. I'll build the thing with Harry. And after I use the parcel tank cabinet or whatever it is, I drop out with Harry. This is not necessary. I just like to... Now I drop out. I just like to do the next room only with one player, so I have a better like depth perception, or I don't know. I just like to do it like this. So I got here. I think this jump took me. I was trying to delay the second jump for no reason, so I ended up only jumping once instead of doing the proper Lumos jump. I should probably stop dropping off or dropping out there. Well, here I know that everybody's doing this room differently. I found a way that I think is the fastest. It definitely works for me. So I'm doing the the furthest on the right first, and then I got into the barrel instead of picking up the ingredient. That was pretty unfortunate, but didn't lose any time. So pretty fine. Here I'll get ready with Ginny on Lumos, and Harry goes all the way to the left side already. And after opening the rock there, I'll just drop out Ginny, so I don't need to wait for the Basilisk to take aggro on me. If you don't drop out, he'll do one more animation before you can hit him. Like that. Now I drop in Ginny and go finish the last ingredient on the right while Harry picks up the Fang here. And this is another, like one of the reasons why I was playing with VSync off. So I don't need to switch to VSync off now for doing the strat. Yeah, after pulling, just target Basilisk, now go to the right, activate Lumos, wait for the animation, and jump through the floor, which was pretty fast. So overall, I think my year 2 was very good, but I lost 40 seconds in Moaning Myrtle's fight just for the RNG. It was not my fault. So that was pretty unfortunate. I lost a couple of seconds in the Dobby's Plan first Lumos jump. Not too bad. Yeah, skipping the pipe is VSync off only, and I'm afraid that that will not work on consoles because the consoles are running on like capped FPS, and you need to have uncapped FPS. You need to have like more FPS than 60 for it. And at this point, this was the first time I looked in on the stream on speedrun.com on Twitch / Lego Speedruns, and this is what I saw. Well, it's hard to show you. Maybe like this. I saw that Loopy is in the same room as I am, so I'm not that behind actually. That's what I found out. Even though he already finished the room and I was just to do the second thing, still I was not too far back. So I knew I have a chance. So I think at this point I was around a minute behind. And I also knew that he went for transfiguration, and he has like new time save on me on the Anger's Rescape and on some other transfix saves. So here, the one P2C I do on the train is that I jump up with P1 and switch with P1 down and switch P2. So P2 is now up there. And then I do another Lumos jump with P1. So I have both players up, and I do only Lumos jump with controller. Because I'm not very good at doing Lumos jump on a keyboard. So that's how I do it. And the thing you do on the left is pretty easy for 1P2C, so you don't have to have like a controller there, so I do the right part with controller, and I ended up doing this pretty fast. Now I switch to Hermione, so I cancel the drinking potion animation and set Crookshanks here. I think it's a little faster to enter the train with Crookshanks, but doesn't save like insane amount of time, of course. But the reason is that I can go here with Crookshanks, and Crookshanks is a little faster than Scabbers, so this saves like another second or two. This took me a while to set the transfiguration here. Here I should have destroyed this trunk. And I did not kill the Dementor because you don't need to. Okay, this trunk is when I destroyed it. So I ended up with Lupin on P1, and I go Hermione P2 for no reason. You can have Ron, you can have Hermione, it doesn't really matter. Switch to Expecto Patronum on Lupin. So as soon as I go to the next room, I can do the sniping. So I position Lupin at the edge of the moonlight, and I jump and shoot to snipe the Dementors. And Hermione is like pushing towards the camera, towards the train. Here you need to drop out P1 in order to activate a cutscene to end the level. So after playing half of the game with VSync off, this is the time to turn VSync on. So this is the last time I use VSync off, now I'll turn it on. Because I need it on for Filthy Aggro, I need it for Malfoy skip. And I wanted to have VSync off for this last jump. You can see I'm having some problems with Hermione targeting the Boggart. And this actually happened for all the Boggarts there. Like, it didn't latch with the first hit. When I release, it didn't check. So in this lesson, you need to keep an eye on the checkboard. If Hermione is not being checked, you need to spam on the spell. I can't play with two controllers. I mean, what's blocking you from doing it? Only having like one hand would be an issue, I think. So here I got Ron and Harry both ready on Wingardium Leviosa for a reason. I'll go to right with Hermione, and I will start using magic with Harry as soon as I can here. So turn and use magic. Now Hermione will use magic here. I switch to Ron and go through the door. So Ron is already on Wingardium, and he can immediately start using Wingardium on the cup on the left. So I don't need to think about changing the spells, and I can focus on the Hermione riddle and just like automatically do the part in the back. Like if you can't if you can't play with just one controller each hand. Like, I mean, I already said that yesterday. I think neither of us was born with the ability of doing 1P2C, with the ability of playing two controllers at once. Yeah, you just gotta practice, but you get better. The first time you decide to do it and not be scared of, that's the first step. So here I'm doing the next wrong warp here. I believe this one didn't go too well. Yeah, now I'm too forward now. But I'll get a pet warp instead. Yeah, I'll get the pet warp as I was mentioning earlier, so that's pretty fine. And I think my backbeat here was very solid. So let's see how I do it. I kill the bee here. I hit the thing there and kill this pixie. Then I go to dig with Crookshanks and go to the right with Ron. Activate Lumos and pick up the drumstick, but I'll be get by the pixie. So then, oh, I did not. Okay, I felt the pixie was gonna grab me. Okay, now it grabbed me. So I switched to Harry and finished the drumstick while Ron had the right one. Now I need to only hold left with Ron, so I don't need to be very like pay attention what he's doing. Now I can hold Ron, yeah. Like I stopped with Ron so I can focus on Hermione. Now I also need to focus, so I stopped Ron so Hermione gets my like full focus. Jump down, didn't drop the drumstick. And I just need to place it on the correct plate. So this was very, very good backbeat, I think. Definitely gold. If not for the messed up wrong warp at start. At this point, I caught up with Loopy. Even though I was losing a minute. Yeah, the pixie is very bad. So the next is Hogsmeade. Again, I'm not fixing the bridge because I already fixed the bridge, so I don't need to waste my time on it. And I'm only playing P1 now. I dropped P2 just because I don't need P2 right now. And for the first room, it's actually useless. I'll need P2 for the Malfoy fight, but that takes place in the room 3 or 4. So here I just turn and go to the trigger. I switch to what's that, Fred, George, I don't know. And the knight is already built, so I can just go through, as I don't have any pet, so that would be a problem if the knight wasn't built. I would need to make a Polyjuice potion. Yeah, this is where I got pretty bad luck. I killed the pixie, but the platform got stuck in the ground, so I decided to use the other platform. It took some time targeting. Finally got it, so I placed it there. Lumos jump, pick the right one again. No, I needed to like target it and place it here. This is definitely slower than what you usually get, but it was a nice backup that I was able to do it like that. Here I do the bridge escape and messed up Lumos jump, but still got it to the other side. I think this jump took me quite some time. This is a jump I'm not very comfortable with. Okay, I got it second try, so that's fine. So at this point, I'm starting to be pretty nervous because of Malfoy skip. So I'm trying to calm myself down. I know that I'm on a like pretty good pace, so I want this jump to be as fast as possible. So I go forwards with Fred or George. I don't know who's that. And set ready on Lumos with Harry. Skip a cutscene and just pray. I set to Wingardium Leviosa on Ron and then took my time to set up here and do a Lumos jump, and boom, first try Malfoy skip. This was the time where I really like celebrated on out loud when I was playing here, because like I usually talk a lot when doing a stream, but this time I was not speaking at all because my voice was not carried over to anywhere. But here I had to like celebrate a little. And here I checked the stream again. This was the second time I checked the like a speedrun stream, and I saw that I'm actually ahead. I'm like 20 seconds ahead against Loopy here. So that gave me some chance. I knew I need to be more ahead because one, he has slower loads, and the second reason is he's gonna do Angry Tree Skip. But first we do this level. Yeah, I think the 1P2C in this first room was pretty good. I'm not remembering any major like fuck ups, so probably pretty fine compared to what happened in the next room, which I will not spoil for those who didn't see the match, but let's just say it was not perfect. Now I'm trying to hit the pixie back, but I'm hitting the spider instead. Finally got it. This took me quite some time. Not able to hit the flower. Okay, so I lost a couple of seconds here. In the next room there are like two ways to get up to the Filch platform, and most of the players again are doing the Lumos jumps because it's faster technically, but for me as a like controller keyboard player, it's definitely not faster because I'll need to do two different Lumos jumps, and I don't like the Lumos jump even with a controller because it's pretty long distance one. So I think building this and having the 100% consistent jump up is actually much easier. And here I set up for my classic Filch aggro, which did not work. So this I think could have or should have worked, but it did not for a reason unknown to me. I used to do this setup previously, and then I switched to a setup where you push against the wall in the far back, and that worked for me a couple of times when I tried it, and then I was doing it on the tournament match against Origin, and again I was not able to get it for like 4 tries. So this is pretty rough. This is where Loopy took the lead. I don't know why the position was too bad. So will it work now? This worked. So this ended up losing me 45 seconds. It's pretty crazy. I think this kind of breaks even with drinking a potion. Like, I would say that it was definitely worth a try, but getting Filch aggro 3rd or 4th try, might be just the same as if you went for a casual strat at first. So definitely not happy with that. So here I do the balcony jump with VSync on. You see I'm having more troubles with that. I just can't get up there. Finally, I got onto the Expecto Patronum lesson, which I think went pretty well. Let's see. Was I too close to the Dementor? No, I was not. So that's good. Shoot the projector. Oh, this is too close. Yeah, of course. And shoot the last crate and go back with looping. Yeah, I think this was pretty clean. Pretty clean lesson. No problems there. So the next up is the Whomping Willow, or the level is called the Shrieking Shack. So one more Wrong Warp, this time with Hermione, because Ron does not have... Oh, he has... Ron still has Scabbers, but I'll be doing it with Hermione anyway, because like if I get the Pet Warp, it's faster. Scroaching is faster than Scabbers. This will not work. Yeah. This works. Pretty nice. And like I probably didn't mention it yet, but for me, playing without cutscenes is pretty demanding for like my hands and stuff. So I like playing with cutscenes so I can have a rest a little. So I don't need to be playing non-stop. So this would be another reason why I don't go for transfix strat, so I can rest a little in this boss fight. I don't need to do anything almost, so I just stand there and I can stretch a little. And so yeah, I'm using this as a cutscene. I can lay down the controller for a while instead of being constantly like present to the fight or doing the angry tree skip. So this was the last phase, and I'll go into the tunnel and I'll attempt to do the bridge skip or the gap skip or whatever it's called. I don't think it has a name. So for that one, you need to have, like, you don't actually need, but it's much easier if you don't have your wand. So that's why I hit Harry with Hermione there. So I got rid of his wand. So I jump to the other side, and because I don't have Transfiguration, I don't actually need to get Hermione on the other side. It would still be faster, but much harder, and I would probably lose time if I went for it. So I did not go for it. It was another one of those skips that I did not go for it. If you remember those 5 things I said at the start, this would be probably the number 5. So I ended up doing this only with 1 player. Not a big deal. At least I could rest a little from doing 1P2C. this fight is pretty dull. Not like it's not even a fight. Okay, you're fighting with a rat. Let me just turn the lights on. I go for the purple stat here because why not? I I messed up the first Lumos jump here. Okay. It's not where I usually fail, but it can happen. Okay, got this jump and got this jump as well. So I think this level went fine. I don't think I lost any time here. So here I need to drop in P2 because I want to start 1P2C in the next level in the first room. So I can go left with Hermione to take the earmuffs and hit the little plant thing on the right with Harry. And as soon I place the Mandrake and Hermione lifts her hands, I can hit this plant thing. Yeah, this next build with Hermione is the buffer build. You can hold the build button and it will be starting, like it will start building as soon as it's possible. Unlike this chicken leg, this is not the buffer thing, you need to wait for it. You can see I switched with Hermione to Immobilus already, and I'll switch now with Harry as well. So as soon as I enter the next room, I'll have both on Immobilus ready. So then I go here and start shooting. It's always better to stop moving before you start shooting, because then you can shoot more projectiles like more frequently, instead of when you're moving you have like bigger cooldown on your shots. Okay, this is pretty simple 1P2C. You just need to not fall down with the disc. That's a big problem. And also there's a way to jump down with the disc without like it falling from your hands. I don't think I get it here. No, I jumped too late. Or rather, maybe didn't jump at all. Not sure. And here is another like small skip that can happen. You can shoot at the Dementors while they are coming at you, but the spell will not be aimed at all. So if you hit the Dementor, it's fine, you're saving time, but you need to precisely hit him without aiming. And that's what I got here. I killed this one. I tried to aim at this one, but accidentally got the other one, which ended up saving a lot of time, because then the second to last became the last one. Oh, should have hit the crate. Yeah, I think this next room does not offer anything extra special. Just kill the Dementor, use the magic on that icy thing, jump onto this barrel and lift it with Hermione, and kill the Dementor as soon as you are on the other side, and then hit this crate and hit the fire guy on the left and build the fire guy on the right. So this was pretty fine. I didn't hit the guy, so it was not. And then I go left and right. Oh, I moved with I moved with Harry here, so the pixie attacked me for I don't know why. It usually don't attack you anyway, but I didn't lose any time to that. I lost time that Hermione fell down because I was too slow with the platform probably. But whatever, that didn't lose much time. I don't know why I cast Crookshanks there. I didn't mean to. I probably killed one Dementor. Now I'll just hit the flower and get the ingredient and try to destroy the Dementors while keeping an eye on the bottom Hermione cabinet. And I think I remembered how to do it, but I pressed the wrong button. Instead of the jump button, I pressed something else. So I had to watch the animation again. Then I'll pick it up and drop out, so I don't need to worry about Hermione coming up, and then I'll just drop in and put the ingredient there. And you can see this was the second time I accidentally pressed the wrong button to insert the ingredient into the cauldron. The first time was, I think, in Crab and Goyle. And this was the second time that I jumped instead of pressing the magic button, which is definitely a sign that I was under stress, because this is what never happens to me. I'm not messing things like that. So this fight is pretty standard. I think at this point I also checked how I was doing against Loopy, and I saw that he's like one phase or maybe two phases ahead, but we are in the same room, in the same fight. And I was expecting to be behind after year 3 because of the anchor tree skip and stuff like that, and like the other time saves in year 3. So nothing I was like not expecting. So I'm actually one phase behind now. He just ended up the fight. Targeting the wrong one, so I jumped to stop targeting that one. And then I waited for the last two. Was probably the fastest way. I should keep doing that. Oh, I missed him. Wow. Alright. So this was the end of year 3. And I knew I'm behind at the start of year 4. And I knew that year 4 is not my best year. But I have to go for risky strats now if I want to catch up with Loopy. And I need him to lose some time, but mostly I need to take the risky strats now. So until now, I was doing the safe strats and things like that, the things that I mentioned earlier. But now I'll need to change my gameplay. I'll need to do it differently. You're having some problems with hitting the rockets? Okay. No, not too bad. Setting up Hermione on Crookshanks for this wrong warp here. And wrong warp. Oh, failed, because I was doing it from the bottle. So got it second try. Drop out, switch to Hermione. Go all the way to the right. And I think I ended up getting this this trigger second try, which is fine. Yeah, got it now. So that was very good. I wouldn't say that lost any time. So I switched Ron to Wingardium and Harry to Wingardium, and now I will move with Ron, switch P1 to Hermione, and switch to Crookshanks. And I'll be doing Pet Warp the other way around. I usually do it with P2. Now I'll be doing it with P1 because I want P1 Hermione, and got the Pet Warp into the into the potions classroom. This route I'm doing here is probably not the best because like Ron could have already, like if I pick the thing with Ron and go left with Hermione, that would be probably faster. So Hermione can use this cabinet earlier. So I should do it like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'll go here with Ron and start using the potions. Meanwhile, I wait for the potion to let go of the button, then go up with Crookshanks. Because if you don't do that, you can get a control lockup, and it's very unfortunate and ends up losing a lot of time. One of my runs already died to that, so now I remember that very well. So I need to destroy this purple thing. Oh, that was not the purple thing. And I'll be finishing this with Hermione because that's easier for me, as that's my P1. And we'll be doing this. Note that I let go of the button now, and it didn't turn green, so I had to hold it again. So I saved it at the last time. Last saves before disaster. I switched to Crookshanks so I can do a pet warp right after exiting the classroom. This pet warp is hardly saving any time, but I think it's fast because like Crookshanks move fast. So if you move to Hermione fast enough, it's probably saving some time. So the next level is dragons. That's a very hard one for me. I think I'm pretty good on red skip, but I'm fairly inconsistent on blue skip. But I knew that I have to go for it. I have to go for blue skip if I want to catch up, because I knew that Loopy will go for blue skip, and he'll probably get it. This time I did it the other way around because I had Hermione, not Ron or whatever. No, I don't know. So this is the second to last time I do this warp. I got a pet warp first try, so pretty happy with that. And now I need to get red skip and blue skip. So got up, got the edge jump, so red skip done. And here I do the like behind the aquarium. And I have very big problems standing on the aquarium. That's where the most problems on blue skip comes from. Sometimes I just don't do Lumos jump there. That happened here. Again, I saved it, and then I fell down into the aquarium. And I think now I got it. Yeah. Pretty unfortunate. Like, I'm happy that I got it, but that was not the greatest. So I think at this point I looked at the wrist stream again, and I saw Lupis in the last room, so I have to go for this jump as well. And this jump actually didn't go too well. I think it took me like 4 tries. Hi Pops. Thanks for the host. Okay, 3 tries on this jump. And this room was pretty okay, so I think that at this point in Dragons I lost about 20 seconds. Like, I cannot expect to have every skip in Dragon's first try, but still, it like at least the Lumos jump could have been faster, right? So this is how I do this last room. Go through with Harry, switch to Hagrid, switch Fang to Harry. And hit the thing here. So even though I feel like I lost 20 seconds in Dragons, I still golded the level for me. But this gold is not like a real any percent gold, it's only the fast any percent gold. And that was with like 6 or 7 tries. Oh, you didn't see the beginning of this level? Well, you can always just go back and watch it after. I'll be, like, if you're interested in the commentary I'm giving, I'll be placing this run on my YouTube so you can check it out later. So now on to Reducto. I think Reducto went pretty well. This is the last time. Okay, I got this jump with VSync on pretty good. For Reducto, I learned that I need to stand further away. Now you can see how Hermione is blocking Ron, like all the way, everywhere I go Hermione is blocking Ron. It's pretty crazy. But if you are standing like far enough from the piece, from the silver piece, it works pretty fine. So that's how I do it lately. Okay, the next level is the first task, and that's the last level where a big difference can be made. Because, like, as Justin likes to say, the last 3 levels are pretty consistent, and I cannot expect get bigger lead than like 30 seconds in the last 3 levels altogether. So if I wanted to make a difference, I need to make it in this level. This was the last chance for me. So I had to go for this wrong warp. Didn't get it. And I think I got it second try. Nope. Okay, so I got it third try. So even when starting the level, I knew I already lost like 15 seconds. And at this point I had to go for loopy skip. That was the only solution for me in the match. Because not going for it wouldn't save any time, and that would be a guarantee loss. Going for it was like the only chance, but I was obviously not gonna get it. Finally I got it after 25 seconds of a time loss. So at this point I knew I lost. Like that was my only chance. But didn't matter because like I was having a good time, I think, and I felt like it's pretty even, the match. So obviously it's decided, but like it's nice to watch. But this jump usually works every time for me. Okay, I'm not getting the Lumos jump. Now I see what was the problem. Now I got it, but still didn't get the jump off. And also here didn't get the jump off. Again. So after like these 7 failed attempts, I decided to go for this trigger, and I didn't get this trigger either. So this was like very painful. And finally I got it. So I ended up losing 50 seconds in first task. Yeah, you're just smashing jump there. It's very inconsistent, and I don't like recommend anyone doing that skip. You need to have like a specific angle for it. It's just don't do it. Here I'm taking like intentional death so I can get this respawn up front. It has not been timed, but I believe it's faster, and I'll be doing it one more time here. Taking the death and spawning here. And now I think Hermione will die here, and I'll also switch to Hermione. Or not? Maybe not. Or maybe I already done that. So now onto the visit Cedric on the bridge. Yeah, I was trying to, like, at first I was trying to jump onto like an invisible uh, something with a collision where you can, from that you can jump up on the platform, but that didn't work for me, even though a couple of, like, I've tried that, I don't know, 7 times in my previous runs, and it always worked, but this time it didn't work in either of my attempts. Not sure why. And then I decided to hit the trigger, which is located in the rock there, and you can kind of touch it from, like, without jumping onto the platform. Okay, so just visited Cedric here, and we're going heading back to the actual level. Here again, this is the second time you need to go to the bathrooms, and because I already opened the staircase here, I don't need to do the Lumos jumps. I just do this one. Got blocked on the stairs, of course, as usual. Here I take this little shortcut with Lumos jump. And this level, I learned this route for it, and I think it's pretty well timed. Like, I think this is the best. So go here, go back with Harry, take that with Myrtle, and place it, and go to the left. In 1-4 run, it's better to open those curtains. Well, there are different opinions on it. I think it's better, but all the rest of the runners think it's slower. So, like, if you go through my stream, or like what I said at start, I was going like I was explaining what strats I decided to go for and what strats I decided to not go for. This was like what I had there, and this is kind of a strat that I knew I can do, but I decided not to go for because it can only save a couple of seconds. But if you fail it, it loses you much more time. And so I did not go for it. I'm not going for it in any of my runs. And the reason is that, like, the last jump from what's that, the trophy jump is not consistent to me, and you need to do it twice. And in order to save time, you need to do it twice on first try, like first time and first time. So if you mess up either of those, you're already breaking even with casual strats or even losing time. So I decided to not do it at all, because it's also much easier to do it the casual way. So finish that level. Now I'll be going to the lake, and for that I'm not doing the wrong war because like you warp to Hagrid, and that's too far. So here I'll be just taking the normal way. Again, losing some time that I don't have the broom there, that I built the bridge. So in this next level, there are 2 out of bounds movements, making this level very obsolete. Like, you just move from left to right and then do the last room. so that's pretty fine. And the movements are not very hard. Like you can mess it up, but not. Once you learn it, you'll probably get it every time. So start with both players. You need to swim through the Grindylows here without getting hurt. Oh, Cedric got stuck a little. That's fine. Face to the right with Cedric and hit Cedric 9 times. One thing to note that if you have Transfiguration, you can't use the red spell because you would probably transfigure Cedric instead, and you don't want to do that. You can do it with you can do it with Expelliarmus, Lumos, Reducto, maybe even Ridiculous, not too sure. Expecto Patronum as well. And I think it's best to do it with Reducto or Expelliarmus. And this is the second one. Pretty simple movement. So now I set Harry to Lumos, Cedric to Wingardium Leviosa, so I can do the stuff in the last room. Meanwhile, Loopy just ended this level and is entering the last level. And at this point it was pretty decided. But I still wanted to have good room here, but I got very bad mermaid RNG. You can see already 2 mermaids are at Cedric. But I got him to the other side pretty well. Another one is coming. And now it starts. Cedric got pulls to the forwards, so I need to get him back to use the magic. And I think he will not make it. Yeah, and again gets pulled by another mermaid. And finally I made it and destroyed the last part. So this also lost some time. I think like 20 seconds. Oh, maybe 15. Like you cannot expect to have the perfect black like all like every time. So here I like to use Immobilus only with my one player, so the other player can hang around like at the back and I don't hit him. Instead I hit Hermione, of course. And here you can hit the painting and go all the way to the left and the stairs will lift with you on it. So that's kind of good to use to save some time. I think here I was panicking again because I was also reaching my phone trying to set up the sound for the LEGO speedrun stream so I can hear Loopy's interview, and the match was about to end in a couple of seconds because Loopy was just entering the boss fight with Voldemort. So I did not have the Immobilus ready. I don't know why this happened. So that was that part, and this is the second to, third to last room actually. And Loopy ended right now. 1:43.02 was his final time. So you can see it was pretty close, the race. I mean, even though I messed up a lot, he also made a lot of mistakes, so that's what made the race possible to be this close. So let's see, what's my total time loss was 250 seconds. It's over 4 minutes actually. 4 minutes 10 seconds. I mean, yeah, that's a lot. Most of it because of the Phyllis G aggro, that was a big one. And Moaning Myrtle also not optimal. Oh, first task 50, yeah, again. That's also a big time loss. So this is the last part, last boss fight and last heart of Voldemort, and my time ended up right now 1:44.14. So I ended up losing this match by a minute and 12 seconds, which honestly I think it's very close. Like if you take account that I lost like 40 seconds to Myrtle, which was completely not my fault, and then like 50 seconds to first task, which was my fault. If I took away those two, it would be even. For example, those two. So having a little cleaner round would probably be enough for be even with Loopy. So it was not bad, and I'm pretty grateful for how my run ended up with. Like ended up, of course, not the greatest, but I'm fine with that. So yeah, that was my commentary of my tournament match against Loopy. And if I'll need to have my gaming break even more, like longer than the next match, I'll probably do this commentary for my next match as well. Because I think it was pretty fun. It was interesting. I hope someone in the chat or in the viewers learned a new stuff. And it's also good for me to go through the match and like remember what was done poorly and what could have been done better. So I hope I helped someone. Moon, for example, thanks, and it was also a help for me. And for now, I think that would be it. I'll have like a short break, and I'll probably do one GeoGuessr round before I end the stream.